So you can sit with your back straight and just let yourself settle into your seat. If you're sitting in a chair, if you're sitting on a cushion, if you need support for your back, make sure that you have it, and allow your body and your being to settle into your seat. Feel the sitting bones relaxing into your seat. Feel as you are letting go that your basis is expanding. There is a sense of letting go, and in the same time, there is a certain elastic, flexible tension that allows the energy to rise through the spine all the way to the top of your head. Your chin comes a little bit inside, the back of your neck is elongated, your shoulders are relaxed, your hands are either wrapped around your knees or hand inside hand, right and left for men, left and right for women. Keep a small distance between your teeth. Your tongue is gently touching the soft upper palate, the front, close to the tongue. You can breathe either from your nose or from your mouth and make your gaze soft. In this order of sitting, with the legs ideally in cross-legged or in Vajra posture, in a lotus posture. All these details are called the 7 Vajra postures, 7-point Vajra posture, perfect posture. We just relax in this posture. And feel how just being in your body is allowing your breath, your breathing to settle. Feel how the diaphragm is more relaxed and it moves more easily down with no effort. And how this slowing and relaxation of your breathing affects your mind, affects your thoughts, affects the speed of your thought, the quality of your thought, and start to bring natural attention to the space between the thoughts. And now that we prepared our body, we prepare our breath, our subtle energy, by inhaling through both nostrils and exhaling every time with a different nostril 3 times, and then through both nostrils together. When we inhale white light that goes to every cell in our body. That is an expression, it's a visualization of the quality of purity, of purification, of equanimity, of equality. Just like when snow falls on an area that looks different, it suddenly all looks the same. And when we exhale, all our tensions, all our trauma, all our diseases come as black, gray color like smoke. So we use a mental process, the door of the mind. We use the breathing, inhalation and exhalation, the door of the breath. And we use the visualization, the door of the form of the body. There were a lot of questions about it. So we inhale from both nostrils. We close the left nostril and we exhale. Inhale. Close the right nostril and exhale. Again, inhaling white light. And now inhaling and exhaling from both nostrils. Inhaling white light and exhaling black, gray color like smoke. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling from both nostrils. At this point, where our breath or our channels are cleaner, we can feel our subtle energy flowing better in the body. We inhale one more time, and we use the breath as a letting go process to allow the mind to ride on the breath and just let go into this vast space of purity and equanimity with the sound, ah, like the letting go. Ah, and we just let the mind open, vastly open. And from this place of openness, of equality, we give rise to the expression of this acceptance, of this freedom, of this equality, of this evenness, equanimity in this body, in this realm, is love and compassion. Love and compassion towards ourselves, love and compassion towards people that we love, love and compassion towards people that we are neutral to, and love and compassion towards any living being. It's all of us want to be happy, and all of us experience suffering. Many people express their inner suffering and their need for love and happiness in different ways. Some in constructive, supportive, selfless ways, and some in destructive, aggressive, harming ways. But the basis of all living beings that they experience difficulties and suffering as part of their life. And everybody wants to be happy. Nobody enjoys suffering. And when we understand this, it naturally opens our heart to ourselves, to our own difficulties, to our own struggle, bringing the ability to have self-love and self-compassion, and opening our heart, ourselves, to love and have compassion for others. This is the mental, emotional, psychological, spiritual expression of what is inherently present in us physiologically as part of the functioning of the heart. Open heartedness. Just with. And for those who can experience the impermanent, empty quality, illusory quality in everything that arises, the divine within us, this by itself generates a natural quality of love and compassion. And we rest in this recognition. Each of us, wherever we are, we use a contemplation to change the recording, and we use the letting go to allow the change in the level of the mind, in the level of emotional and psychological expression, all the way to the change in the body, all the way to the cellular level. A cell that is caught in suffering and in struggle and in survival and in fighting is a cell with abnormal metabolism, a cell with autoimmune disease that is fueling it, and of course a cancer cell. A cell that has a big burden of toxins affecting it. This will be the reaction. We open our heart. At the heart level, at our being level, there is a transformation. That's a meditation quality. What we are interested in open heart medicine is to bring it somatically into our cells, into our being. And we just rest. And in many ways, if we go back and forth and we move more from contemplative place to a letting go place, then actually that's the only thing we need to do. Everything is here already in the preparation for meditation, what is called the first excellence. Preparing the body, preparing the speech, and preparing the mind. And now that we prepared our body, speech, and mind, we can start more of the formal technique-based meditation, starting with shamatha, calm abiding with support. We want to ground ourselves first. We pick an object or a picture or something inspiring under our eye level, and we thrust our vision, our eyes into the object. Not letting the visual contact go away. Steady. And we add our breathing. We exhale to the object and we inhale from the object. And we add our concentration. So there is a focus with the vision, the breath, and the mind. And all of the three come together. The three doors to our being, to our ordinary mind, to our mind in general. And as we focus on one thing, the distraction, the noise start falling away. Just like I showed during the retreat, then we start to create a space between the thoughts. And this space allows emotions, feelings, thoughts to come up. As we transverse through the journey from extreme neurosis and restlessness into a place where everything is open and spacious and boundless. Rest there. Rest with it. We can feel the calming effect, the resting effect, the grounding effect. And gradually we bring our vision to the eye level. We gaze at eye level and we open ourselves to all visual expressions that come from the front. While we keep the front open, we open ourselves to any visual sensations that come from the right and from behind and from the left and from above and below. So we are the anchor, we are the subject, and we are stable and moving. The breath becomes our anchor not to lose our presence. And the object that we meditate on is all visual sensations in all directions. And our relationship and experience of these sensations, what we do with them, this is our meditation. Not what we experience, but our relationship is what we experience. Into this meditation, we open up either sense by sense, direction by direction, or all together to any sounds. And when you practice, you can do each of them at your own, and each direction at your own pace. Any sound from the front, from the right, from behind, from the left, from above and from below. Any tactile sensations, any smells, and any tastes. And if we are well trained and more advanced, we just rest in this place. We just stay in a non-conceptual state of shamatha. And if we feel that we're getting lost, then we use the breath. We let go in the exhalation and fall into this gap between exhalation and inhalation. Allow the mind also to let go. And then as the mind gets busy, we pick up the inhalation. More effort and exhalation, let go. And in every cycle, your field of experience expands, expands. And you can feel the serenity, the quietness, the spaciousness, not only outside, but inside your body. And keeping this in mind, keeping this state, while staying open, we bring our focus inwardly, starting with our inner chest, our heart level. Connect with the feeling and sensation in our chest. And just accepting them. Just like we accepted outer sensations, we accept inner sensations, feeling, emotions. And we let this exploration, this inner meditation, just expand into all our body. Until the boundary between the inside and outside of the body falls away. And we just stay in this open space when outside and inside are inseparable. This vast space. And we infuse this space with the understanding, the quality, the experience of impermanence, of the ever-changing nature of anything and everything that arises outwardly and inwardly. This is the driving force of our infinite healing potential. The solid, undisputable fact beyond belief systems that anything and everything is impermanent, is empty of true, stable, undistracted, unchanging nature. Everything changes, which means that everything can heal. And we rest in this understanding. Let our being, our body, our organs, our tissues, our cells engage, let go into this understanding, into this experience. Rejoice in this revelation. And you may feel how it expands your field of meditation. And now that we have the sense of openness, of impermanence, of clarity, we say hello to our heart. Connect with our heart. And we feel the warmth of the heart. And we just allow this warmth to expand to wherever we need. Every tissue that needs it, every organ. And while we do it, we recognize it from a subtle energy point of view. Our electromagnetic field, which is now in much greater harmony, is affecting and beaming to every cell in our body and to people around us, including through the Zoom, affecting anyone logged in. And our heart intention and understanding that all beings are suffering and everybody wants to be happy. This is also being embraced by every cell in our body and everyone around us. And we rest in this place. And as we breathe, as our diaphragm moves down, as the breathing can be slow and effortless and deep, the focus of the breathing, the place where you feel the breathing coming and going, even if physiologically it goes deep, is the heart. And this is a basic coherence that is created by heart-based breathing between the brain and the heart. And this has greater connotations when you go into more esoteric practices that are not discussed at this level. So we just feel this warmth, healing what needs to be healed, allowing what needs to be allowed. Not necessarily what we expect, not necessarily what we hope, but what is supposed and meant to be when we let go. What is our body's healing beyond our expectations? And we just rest in this place. We can keep our hands or take them down. And from this place where the heart is open, when our tissue is softer and warmer and loving and melting and allowing, accepting, we can inhale white light that comes from the universe, this divine, pure white light that is everywhere, that is part of this original purity in everything, really the divine within us. We allow it to come in through the top of your head. But if it feels better through every cell in your body, it's a visualization. It doesn't come only from the top of the head. The top of the head signifies this descent into the ordinary realm. And it goes into every cell in our body. It goes out of our feet into the ground, nourishing the environment. It's all, the purity is always everywhere. We don't have to make it, we just have to recognize it. And when we exhale, all our disease, all our attachment, all our contractions, all our poisons of any kind are released as black, gray color like smoke, or as whatever visualization works for you. There are some more grotesque, gruesome description that I'm saving you in classical Vajrayana Buddhism. But whatever expresses for you the letting go of the poisonous, toxic, contracting, suffering driven, survival imbalance driven issues. So we have the mental process, we have the breathing process, and we have the visualization process. And when you do this, initially the focus is on the cleaning, on the exhalation, and slowly you can shift into the focus on the white light inhalation until both exhalation and inhalation becomes evenly white. And we rest in this purity in everything that arises, at least conceptually and non-conceptually. There's a profundity in this statement I just made that takes many years to really assimilate. And you rest in this place. And we connect again to our heart by seeing a ball of white light in our heart. This ongoing, purifying, transforming quality of the heart that is innate in us. Physiologically, we won't be alive without it. And when we inhale, we amplify, we enhance, we nourish this inner heart with the cosmic universal heart by the white light that comes through inhalation. And when we exhale, this white light, as the heart contracts, the white light spreads through our cells. Inhaling white light to the heart and exhaling it everywhere in the body. Each of us in their pace. And you feel the journey through every cell. Until slowly it comes to our skin and goes out and fills the whole universe with white light. We are purifying the inner environment, we are purifying the outer environment, and we are recognizing the equanimity in all of it. And we bring our hands down and we just relax. if we want to specifically enhance our inner healing from this place of white, pure heart, we send out the 5-color light like a rainbow, white, red, blue, yellow, green, as an offering of our purity to all divine qualities that have just been nourishing us. And then with inhalation, we collect this enlightened quality of healing from all tradition, from all times, into our heart, the 5 colors that represent the 5 elements, the 5 organ systems. And from there, it goes to every cell in our body. It's called the Vajra breath, the perfect breath. White light going out, collecting healing quality. And when we inhale, it brings us its 5 colors light. And while we go out with the 5 colors to collect healing energy, in the same time, we send the 5 colors to heal any living being that needs the help. As all of us are interconnected. All of us are in the same boat. And we rest in this place. And you can use this state for a long time, for 5, for 10, for 15 minutes. A few breaths. When it loses its freshness, let go. When the mind gets busy and you're not trained and you get lost in it, you bring the visualization again and you let go. And when you meditate at home, you can do the short dedication that we shared in the retreat at the end of your session. So I was planning to do Tonglen, but I decided instead to go into a little bit greater detail up to this stage. And I will make sure that we have meditations available that also have Tonglen. So I want to welcome everyone that came on board this for this broadcast. It's nice to see. It's really for people who are interested in diving deeper from the retreat. And it's nice to see that an unusual high percentage of them, few, have actually joined. And some of you are in geographical area where it's too complicated for you. So it's totally understandable. So welcome, aloha from the island of Hawaii. I go to this spot. I've already been there this morning meditating, and I will be there in the evening. This is the spot of our open heart medicine retreat in Hawaii for people who have been there. And I want to go over the questions. They were really good questions. And I apologize, I won't be able to answer all of them, and they're going to jump from subject to subject because that's the nature of these questions, but I'll try to make it as practical as I can. Maybe I should emphasize when I start that, and it's a strength and a weakness of mine. It's a strength that I love sharing everything I know, and it's a weakness of me, that some stuff that I'm sharing with you is an insight of 50 years of practice, including 10 years of half-day retreat and 20 years of 2-3 months a year and healing methods and decades of clinical work. And then I throw it on you and I expect you to feel it in the first time. So my sincere apology. So this kind of explanation have multiple levels. And if one is expecting a regimented answer, I'm usually not the right guy for this, but you do get guidance. I'm much more structured now. But it's really a process. That's the beauty of it. It's ongoing, it's unfolding, it's remarkable. It never stops unfolding. Just like a river that keeps on flowing. When we freeze it, when we hold to an experience, we turn water into ice. We lose the flow. We lose the impermanent qualities of everything. So with this in mind, I'm going to go through some questions. So about 20 of them that I wrote down and probably get to 4 or 5 of them. So one question, which is relatively simpler, is how to use meditation for healing. Is there a protocol for how we use meditation to heal? Example, lying down meditation daily for 3 months, or a different meditation or combination of meditation style? And how long before we should expect results? So expecting results, looking forward to results, having the motivation to be open is a good thing. Having very strong hope that I need to get something and having very strong fear that it won't happen is an emotional, very basic driving force of our survival response. We hope to have what we want, and we are afraid we will have what we don't want. It's a contracting process. So the lying down meditations are very powerful. And we are focusing, we don't know the launch date, it will happen soon, on having daily meditations with me ongoing 5 days a week, twice a day, that will always be available for people to log in. But we also have quite a few lying down sessions. And at some point, not right away, I may decide to actually also have this available, maybe once or twice a week on a certain day, or we'll see how to do it. So the lying down meditation is very powerful, especially if you have a few of them, if you got them like purchase them from 2 retreats. And at some point, I'm going to make them available because they are powerful. They really incorporate multiple elements. And the results are very, very individual. For people who have a tendency to change quickly, this is the people that have what is called lung quality, movement, wind quality. In Ayurvedic medicine, in Tibetan medicine, they change very quickly. There are a lot of experiences, they're usually thin and tall, and more of a dry constitution. They can experience it quickly. The ones who are more phlegmy, or more slow, or more thorough, they may go more the gradual way. But there are going to be results, and some of them you may not be aware of. Some of them may happen on subtle emotional level. Some of them may happen in the way you respond to outer stimulus and to inner expressions that come from your being. Some of them may be in things that you won't see right away, but people around you will see. And eventually, if you meditate with this specific method, you will see health results. I know from my own experience, when I used to go on retreats for 6 to 10 weeks, a lot of physical ailment I had will just go away. And I would physically look 10, 15 years younger in a few weeks. I'm not exaggerating. Sometimes almost unrecognizable how different, you know. And this change in color, change in vibration, change in glow, is not something cosmetic. It's not a facelift, it's an inner lift that expresses itself the way we look, the way we feel. So the very important is to keep doing it. And then you tailor it to what works for you. So even in this one day, and if you purchase it, you can actually, that's why we make it very affordable, you can actually go through it. It's nice to take the retreat and do it as one day, every few weeks, every month, every 2 months, and then you pick your favorite parts and you do them regularly. And you play between doing meditation on your own, not listening to me, your own process, to having my support. And different people need different things. And what we introduced in the one day is just really the introduction to the basis. That's what it is. But within it, there are pearls. There are real gems within it. And I'm not saying it in order to compliment myself, but I say it because when I share it, I'm connecting to where I got it, to how hard I worked to receive it, to where I was sometime in very remote areas in the Himalayas, or flying all the way to Nepal to ask a teacher one question to clarify something. Okay. So when it's hard to get, you give it more value. So look between the line, like if I tell sometime when I share my experience and give, whatever you want to call it, teach or share, and I say this has some profound meaning, then if this sentence does something to you, if you feel a somatic response, then you turn this into your mantra. This, something that affects you, and you can remember it by heart, you can recite it out loud or in your heart, and then you let go and just meditate. Let the effect vibrate. Like when we say, feel the spaciousness and the change in the cellular level. Then you pick a certain area in the body, unless you can feel it all over, and you feel the difference. And then once you do it, you just totally let go. The letting go is when the change is happening. And you work with it. And at some point you feel, I got it. So I often used to work like this. I spent a year, 6 hours a day, of reading and contemplating 8 pages in a certain text, whole year. Many years afterwards, I used to read it again as part of like the whole chapter. But for 1 year, I did this 8 pages for 10 weeks, day and night on a retreat, and then for the rest of the year until the next year. Until I assimilated it, it became cellular, it became somatic in me. It evoked a certain experience. Another question, I'm just a little confused in the description of the white energy coming from above. I think at one point I heard we have a white column of energy running through us as our essence, grounding and connected in both directions. We need that clarified question mark. The question is, when you describe the healing white open heart energy coming from above, I'm assuming it's pure love, but where exactly do you describe that coming from? Should I say from the universe, from the sun, the source? I know I'm putting too much thought into this, but in teaching others, I may want to be more specific or ready for questions myself. So first of all, it's important, before we feel comfortable teaching others, to make sure that we assimilated the experience ourselves. Otherwise, if we don't have enough knowledge about it and somebody asks questions, we will not give the right answer and we will get confused ourselves. That's why, especially in Vajrayana Buddhism-based teaching, it's not that you go to school or you do a course and become a teacher, like a yoga teacher or a meditation teacher in certain traditions. You have to have a certain inner, traditionally at least, now it's, of course, everything is different in online era. You have to have an inner confidence, an inner experience that sometimes can come quickly, 10, 15 years, that's quickly. Sometimes can come slowly, 30, 40, 50 years. I'm on the slow end. So that's one comment in general. The white light, there is this idea that purity comes from above. It comes from everywhere. It's all, remember, it's all visualization, it's all concept. But the idea in basically that the white light comes from the top, and also the upper part of the body is part that is purer, right? The lung processes air, right? You can't see what it processes. When you get it under the diaphragm into your gut and abdomen, doesn't look as nice, doesn't smell as good. It's very different. That's the impure part. Chinese medicine really talks about it. Every spiritual medical tradition talks about it. So we bring this white light, this purifying light, and it can come through the breath, it can come from the top of the head, it can come through all the orifices, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the mouth, and can come through the pores of the skin, whatever works for you. And then you let it come into the cells. And when you exhale, you let any poisons, negativity on the level of body, diseases, toxins, heavy metals, etc., abnormal cells, in the level of subtle energy, of the flow of breath, and in the level of mind, emotion, psychology, expression, all purified. And ideally, we start with cleaning, emphasis on the letting go of the black first, because when we are born, we exhale first. In order to take a deep inhalation, we've got to exhale. When we leave this world, we leave it by exhalation. It's the first initial movement. It's the natural movement of the lungs. And we work with this. Doesn't contradict what's happening in the central channel. When there is a quality of light coming up the channel, there's a quality of purification that comes from the top, and the color systems are different. In Buddhism and more of the inner yogas, there is a white light descending from the top and the red light coming up to the channel, and they meet at the heart level, then we let go. That's the very basis of the inner yogas, Anu Yoga. Very, very brief description. But for us, we use a visualization that works for us. If you feel that you prefer nectar, this pure fluid coming in, if you feel like you want just the 5 colors to come into you, I gave different context. And today again, I adjusted the meditation to the questions, so I answered a lot of them. Then it's fine. So there are different systems, and we integrate all of them. Again, we just tasted it in a day. It goes to a completely different level in the face-to-face retreat that we live in Hawaii, 25. Later on, hopefully we'll have more selection of how we can learn. And then it goes really deep when we do the longer retreat and we touch the inner and secret tongue gland, which is unique to what I share. It's unique. It's a certain inner revelation I had that I'm waiting to teach already, but I need people to be with me long enough to do it. Okay, and I'm going to skip question number 3. And someone's asking, when we are practicing receiving the white healing light through the top of our head, is it something we can receive while lying down, or for example, through the third eye between the eyebrows? Where does the thick, sticky, dark gray smoke go? I have trouble, a concept, simply dumping into the world that is already polluted and full of toxic thinking habits, etc. Great question. So yes, when you lie down, you can feel the white light coming through the top of your head. You can feel it coming through every cell in your body, through all your skin, into your being. And you can definitely feel it coming through the third eye. Every place has a different quality, what it does. The third eye has more quality of clarity, of expression, of insight. The heart has more quality of openness, of emptiness, of our essence, different qualities, definitely. And it's the issue about dumping is a great question. It's definitely a good question. But our toxicity in the vastness of the universe that is polluted on an outer level, and it affects our minds, our emotions, of course, but it's innately unborn purity in everything, and that's a much deeper concept, how to grasp with ordinary mind. It can handle our toxicity. But of course, in Tonglen, it's very different. In Tonglen, we take the toxicity and we use the purifying quality of our physical heart and our spiritual heart to transform it, and then we send it to the object of Tonglen, right? So actually it is. And then in the inner and secret Tonglen, we learn how to do it on the cellular level. That's why it's so different than regular Tonglen. It's so much more powerful, but requires to be opened enough, otherwise it becomes too much, because it's like dumping all the toxins that are inside the body? That's a very good question. And somebody is asking, can I just do healing sessions separate from the others? Or is it necessary to do the first morning session? You can absolutely do the healing session. I often tell my patients, I will share with them a few lying down session, healing, lying down healing session, and tell them just do it every single day. Do it twice a day. Many people just go to sleep with it, take a nap with it. And it's okay if you fall asleep. It's still working. You don't have to force yourself to be awake. So definitely, for healing purposes, it's very important. The morning sessions are very useful, especially if you can do it in the morning, because it allows to create spaciousness. So you open to the possibility of change. It allows us to recognize or understand impermanence. So we are in the change mode. And it charges our heart with love and compassion. So very useful. And then the other part of this question, are there any particular meditation that can work best for healing spinal hernias or any root nerve inflammation? Yes, definitely. So you want to feel that the white light is going down your spine and healing it. You want to take the heart and you want to send the warmth down your spine. In fact, we can experience right now, we put our hand on our heart and you let the heat come down through the spine. And there are areas that you feel it's not going through. That's because it's blocked. That's where the hernias are. So if you have a hard time going through the spine, then you start sending it upward or to other tissues. And as you do it and the body relaxes, the spine will turn on. So what you really need to feel is like strong heat in your spine, all the way to your definitely sacrum, but even coccyx. And then when you feel this heat, your relationship with it, what you do with it, with your mind, that's a meditation training. And this is excellent to do lying down because then there's no pressure on the spine. But again, with the right pillows, you just do it. You let the subtle energy open up the blockages. And then in my webinar next week, on Wednesday, when I have Diana Hansen as a guest teaching block therapy, there is an all physical, mechanical way of doing it that really works well with this question. How can we receive more in-depth training? Is it only during the retreats in Hawaii? So right now it is. And as I'm very engaged in Eliaz Therapeutics in the development of my sepsis treatment, which is really like from a medical perspective, it's really the culmination of my work. But my wish and hope is to offer more and more of this. And when you come to a longer retreat, especially in-person retreat, about 1/3 of the people are health providers and psychologists, maybe more than 1/3 are regular doctors, naturopathic doctors, chiropractors, massage therapists. Anybody that works with other people for me is a healer and a doctor. I'm not talking about medical doctors. So there's a lot of emphasis on it. And then when I work with people with my hands, of course, there is an effect. So let's say if we meditate in sunset and we see this view after, and it happens fast because of the diet, because of the detox, because of the intense schedule, and because of the experience of doing it on thousands of people for now 15 years. So when there's the expansion, and then I come around, and even for a few seconds, I feel the body and I open the places, then people get insights. And then in the question and answers, there's more guidance. So yes, definitely, it's ideally, And I hope at some point I'll be able to do more training specifically for doctors. I love doing it, and for people who are actually working with other people. But also for healing, it is very important. And again, using the one-day retreat, if people listen to it a few times, every time you'll have a different experience. It doesn't have to be a different program to be different. Every time, of course, I talk differently, right? I taught meditation differently today. Why? I was responding to the questions. I was responding to my inner insight. I was responding to being now in Hawaii for 2 months in this amazing healing energy. My heart wanted to share different things. And it was my own evolvement and the energy from the group who spent a day with me, who put the effort, who signed up, who came for this additional 1 hour plus that I am. So there is an interdependence. So it all works together, but it's an amazing process. You always learn, and you always unlearn. It's very important to unlearn, not to get stuck in the concepts, right? A lot of the questions we had today were conceptual questions. They really didn't matter what the source is, as long as you just feel it coming in. The source is a definition, it's a vocabulary. It's a certain words that people can agree expresses a certain thing for them, right? We are interested in the essence beyond words, beyond solid, materialistic, unchanging description. And now, so this a little bit, and that's why Hawaii is magical. It's really, really a magical retreat. And now we say it out of experience. I kind of said it last year before we did it. Now we know what happened to people. And this year specifically, we are going to have Diana join me, and she will teach 3 or 4 sessions of block therapy, which is a whole other system of healing. And we have a Frat teaching Qigong, and there is some yoga, there is breathing, and we extended, so the last day doesn't end at 12, it ends at the end of the day, 5 or 5:30. We have another half a day, which seems like nothing, but in the intensity of the retreat, it's a lot. And then for people who came last year, they're going to have the next morning like an advanced session only for people who came last year. And so this is a little bit answer to this more in-depth training. They're going to get like important points that they can take home and practice. So that's my hope. I'm committed to it, and hopefully we'll have more and more time to do it. So there is a great question that I think I'm going to end with, as I got covered half of the question. That's not bad, 50%, So what does letting go mean in terms of disease? That was the second question. And the first question, what is the difference between letting go and giving up? These are really important, complicated, how to answer questions. So letting go and giving up are completely different. Completely. Giving up from Chinese medicine comes from weak kidneys, from hopelessness, for thinking that nothing can be good in the future anymore. The kidneys drive the future energy. Genetics, reproduction, bone marrow, production of blood for the future, marrow of the brain for us to function. And so really the giving up means nothing good can happen. Like people will say, we shouldn't bring children into this world. It's a terrible world. So the world is not at its best, we all agree. But this comes out of the reproductive energy being shut down. Letting go is letting go of the survival drive, letting go of the contraction, letting go of the restriction. The hopelessness, the giving up comes from the kidneys. And it drives the whole body. This is a deep depression that gets worse in the winter, the kidney season, more dark. Letting go and freedom comes from the heart. And then the heart leads the way, the emperor, our transformative organ that can bring us evolutionary to develop, that can help us open the door to infinite healing potential. And part of the letting go is letting go of hope and letting go of fear. So we shift from excessive drive and ambition, often narcissistic driven, and can be sneaky if it's very strong kidneys, unbalanced. We shift from fear-based, which is kidney-based, to letting go from the heart, to letting go of a certain expectation. And then the healing happens. And the healing outcome can be very different than what you think. Somebody asked me about their sister with stage 4 cancer in hospice coming to the end of her life. So what is the letting go for her? The letting go is getting to get ready to let go of staying on this earth. That's a very hard, that's the basis of the survival drive. But once a person lets go of expectations, then sometimes amazing things happen. Some of my best results are with terminal patients. Not that their cancers necessarily go away. For some, they do, but it's pretty rare. They live much longer, and they go through an amazing healing experiences for themselves, from their surrounding, in their last days, in their last weeks, in their last months, because they let go, and their doctors let go. So they're not putting the pressure on the patient to do one more treatment and one more toxic treatment. Let's try this and let's try that. We allow the unfolding to happen at its own time. So in diseases, when we let go, it doesn't mean that we give up. It doesn't mean we're going to heal less. It means we're going to heal much more powerful, because we are not wasting energy on drive, on contraction, on survival, on stuckness, on our fears. Also, it brings a certain level of authenticity, of openness that really affects us. So these are really such good questions that I really feel that they are really good questions to really end the session. And maybe one more very quick question. When we talk about the heart, do we think of the physical heart or the heart chakra, or possibly both? We talk about both, and we talk about more. We talk about the physical heart that is naturally getting dirty blood, connecting with the universe, and giving clean blood. So the transformative quality is there, and the absolute acceptance of the heart accepting dirty blood from everywhere is there. So that's the physiology. We talked about connecting the physiology to synchronicity, to coherence, which we talked a little bit how to do today. And so the electromagnetic field of the heart becomes more balanced and can affect every cell in our body and the people around us. And we talk about the spiritual heart when our intention shift from survival driven, grasping originated, selfish focus, narcissistic focus, to wanting every living being, including ourselves, to be happy. These elements, the energy, subtle energies, the mind elements, are not separable from our heart energy. Within it, we have the energetic heart and we have the secret heart. And the secret heart we don't usually discuss in basic retreats, even not in advanced, but I hint to it all the time in my guidings, in my meditation, so you get to treat it all the time. That's a real open heart medicine. That's absolute healing beyond time. My insight when I got it in early 2009 was called Great Perfection Medicine, Timeless Healing in Freedom. So that's too fancy. So it's really open heart medicine. So all of them are true. And the visualization that access the different qualities of the heart in Vajrayana. So the white light that we talked about is a very simple visualization used in the sutras, used in different traditions. In the tantric visualization tradition, it gets more complicated. There are 5 colors and different visualization, and you don't just there are different colors in each channel, on the side channel and the central channel that reflect different emotions and qualities, and it's different between male and female. It can get complicated. I used to teach it like this. Now I simplified it, but from time to time I will mention it, especially during retreats. So with this in mind, I know that we still have, I think, my team asked me to remind everybody there is a waiting list for a special price for Hawaii until the end of the month. You can go and sign up. I'm aware that the Hawaii retreat is expensive, and the hotel and the food here is crazily expensive. It's really what it goes to, to cover the expenses. But it's a magical place. And with the hotel, we're able to secure special pricing before and after for a few nights. And for as much as is available, it's tough. And so you can really make it an amazing healing trip for you. And then we know from last year, the group, is very active. We are all in touch. We have a WhatsApp group. We support each other. It's really neat. Many people from last year are coming back. And so for those who can come, I look forward to meeting you in person. There's a lot of hands-on. I mean, every day at least twice in Everett, sometimes 3 or 4 times, maybe sometimes 1 time, but I don't, a lot. Because when we meditate, I walk around and it's twice a day. And then in the session, at least once or twice a day. And it makes a difference because I get to feel the energy. I watch the people. I know about them. Wendy does an amazing job in collecting information up front. So whoever can come, great. Whoever doesn't come, they are connected by heart. That's open heart medicine. So I wish everybody all the best. Thank you for joining me today.